And now it's July. July 1867. Knowing better than to stay, the Shinsengumi agreed to Nishi Honganji's request and transferred their headquarters to Kyoto. Are we getting shown around? I kind of think we're getting shown around. We are getting shown around again. I wonder if Kondo will say anything about us helping Yamazaki clean Soji's room, since we're gonna go with him there. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if Toshi ever got his poems back. Probably not. Well, since we're here, Saito should be coming back soon. And then the Ito assassination. Aw, look at those guys. So cute. What should I pick? All notes? Oh, notes? I meant to say not all my notes. All my notes, tell me. Can I be one too? Okay. He wants us to have a happy, normal life one day. One day. Alright, with Harada and Shin. Reminiscing about the old days. Keep on going on with that. You know, Shin, you're pretty smart. Okay, time to start getting ready for the Ito assassination. Pretty sure I know what to pick, but I will just double check. Yeah, I'll do anything. And then remaining with Heisuke. Yep. It's as I suspected, and then I'm gonna have to go up against my old boo. And be like, stop, Sanan. Don't need none of your magic here. None of your fury magic. We got medicine. Both kinds, from me and Yamazaki. Are we actually going to be able to stop Sanan, though? Or is it just... flavorfully, I side with the medical route, and Yamazaki's like, I agree with you, but he's crazy, so don't poke the bear. Let him turn Heisuke into a fury, because I don't think medicine's actually going to help him. Okay, we're going to help. And then I'll do anything. And that's that. And me and Yamazaki will spend some time together. That day, Kondo asked me to visit Dr. Matsumoto. Kondo had told me that I could return at whatever hour I wanted, so I took my time getting there, but I had a suspicion that this was their method of watching out for me to avoid my involvement with the assassination, if at all possible. The person who I had accompany me was... I apologize, Yamazaki. I'm sorry that you have to come with me to the doctor's shop.
Please, do not worry. I understand why the chief asked this of me.
No, it's not about that. I just think that if you weren't here, you'd be off doing something way more important.
Pay no mind to things like that. Their mission should be going well, regardless of whether I am with them or not.
I see. When Yamazaki and I returned to the compounds, we heard many different voices chatting inside. I wonder what's going on.
It seems like everyone has returned.
Inside, there was a large commotion going on, and then we heard a familiar voice call out to us.
Chizuru! Yamazaki! Is anyone around?
I'll be right there! The tone of Nagakora's voice was alarmed, and it gave me a bad feeling. Alright. As I stepped into the dojo, which seemed to be the heart of the commotion, I was dumbfounded. Heisuke! Heisuke was sprawled along the floor, covered in his own blood.
What happened, Nagakora?
They got to him. Just take a look at Heisuke now!
His wounds are too severe. There's nothing I can do here. He needs to see Dr. Matsumoto immediately.
Time is not a luxury we can afford right now.
Carry Toto to the back of the compounds.
Wait, what do you mean the back? If the doctor is gonna treat him, it should be right here.
Follow with what I am saying. Toto will be dead before we bring him to Dr. Matsumoto's. Is this what you want, Nagakura?
Of course not! But what are you gonna do to him in the back?
I, too, have no intention of letting him die.
Sanan, don't tell me you're gonna make him drink the water of life.
That decision is not mine to make. I am going to leave it for Toto to decide.
Fuck that! What are you, a demon?
By this point, Nagakura was screaming furiously at Sanan, going so far as to point his sword at him. I am no demon, but I am a fury. If you aim to kill me, be sure to go for my heart or behead me.
You guys! Now is not the time for this. Toto will die at this rate.
I know that!
Then, I am going to be the one to make the final call. Is that clear? Nagakura sheathed his sword as if silently resigning to Sanan's suggestion.
Damn it!
Nagakura left us with his last outburst and he stormed off. Watching that, I remain here. I stayed behind and I timidly looked towards Sanan. Sanan looked back at me and we locked eyes for a minute. Do you think me a demon as well? It is fine. Think of me as you will. However, I find it equally egregious for us to let him die willingly when there are other solutions to which we can look. Well, I couldn't find the words. What would my doctor of a father have done? My wish is for Toto to live. If you share this desire, then stay out of my way. This really pains me, old boo. I'm so sorry. Are you really going to honor Heisuke's wishes? Of course. Now, leave the rest to me and get back to your room. Wow, we did a really good job stopping him. Sanan motioned for his men to carry Heisuke, and the group of them disappeared. Was that the right thing to do? As I stood there, I wondered aloud. Yamazaki answered me, standing behind me as we waited alone. Well, I'm glad you appreciated it, even if it wasn't much.
Yukimura, I understand what you may be feeling. Let's just pray that Toto's wishes are respected.
There was nothing I could do or say, so I just nodded. Alright, well, we'll pray together, I guess. So, Heisuke is a fury now. All the assassination stuff is done. It's time for Sanan to come take our blood again. And let me look at my notes and see if we're gonna help out Hijikata this time. Yes, we do want to help. And we can pick the other option that we've never done before. I wish my chair would stop squeaking. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Good grief. Ugh. Okay. Hopefully it won't squeak anymore. Alright. So we are going to help. You can give us a note. And then we're going to do a very foolish thing and confirm with him. And probably get yelled at. I wonder if it was really okay for him to trust me with all of this. I better go check. I wanted to confirm the sliver of doubt I had in myself, so I peeked back in around the sliding door. And we're spying instead. And there she goes. Hey! Yamazaki! Shimada! Where did you come from? This was my room! Like, where are you hiding?
Yes, sir.
Did you call? I sent Yukimura to deliver Saito a letter. Keep an eye on her, but don't let her see you. If anything happens, make sure she's okay.
Understood.
Hopefully, if something does happen, it'll just be some idiots trying to get to Miura or something. There are some dangerous guys after her, though. If the demons show up, just get her back here immediately. Yes, sir. We're off. Yeah, get going.
I had no idea that he was making sure she got there safe. Wow. Oh. Maybe that meant he didn't quite fully trust me yet. He trusts you! He absolutely trusts you. He is just making sure you're not carried away off yonder. Good grief, girl. Of course, I was a little disheartened to hear that, but maybe that was the best I could ask for. I pulled myself together, made sure I had everything on my person, and I left to deliver Saito's letter. Yamazaki, I hope you talk some sense into your girl. Good grief. Alright, am I just... Okay. I thought this was going to be back to the normal stuff. First, I slipped the letter into my kimono, and I double-checked to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Next, I carefully unfolded the map Hijikata had drawn out for me. Hijikata placed enough faith in me to get the job done, so I had to be sure I did things correctly. She went from like, oh, he doesn't trust me to, he put enough faith in me that I gotta make sure I do this right. Okay, so I go this way on this street. According to this map, it looks like I have a long way to go. I better hurry, or it's going to be evening by the time I get there. Maybe I should run there. I wanted to ensure I take all safety precautions, of course, but I was overwhelmed with a sense of duty to the point that I couldn't help but feel running would ensure I'd complete the task on time. Are you gonna try and figure out where they're hiding? Okay. Now you're skipping. Alright, Saito's reading his letter. Okay, we're stopping there. Now that the job was done, though, I wasn't quite sure what I should do next. I should return to the compounds immediately. Okay, so they removed that option for you. Although I was given permission to leave for this mission, I still am not permitted to go outside. Alright, I'm heading back.
Of course. Be careful.
Bye, Bean. Okay. We're trying to run home as fast as we can. As I was running towards the compounds, I knew I had to be conscious of my surroundings. I knew, too, that Yamazaki and Shimada weren't too far behind me. I felt bad knowing they were responsible for me, and I stopped in my tracks. Yamazaki, Shimada? Are you guys here? No response. But I knew they were here. And I'm sorry. All because I wanted to be of use to you guys. I put you through so much more than you would have wanted. Yamazaki's like, okay, that's it. I gotta make myself known.
It's not like that. I am just following the commander's orders. It's not a matter of you causing any trouble.
That's right. Saito said so earlier. This mission was a no-brainer because it was you.
Do you guys really think so?
Yes. Or at least I think so, at least. I don't know which of these to say. Like, I'm worried about... Sometimes she says things and I'm like, no, not like that. I mean, yes, I appreciate you guys. I mean, both of these are basically thank you, but I'm trying to discern the way she's going to word it. I don't know. I mean, Yamazaki's not too
touchy-feely with our choice. It's like very, duty-bound so far. So maybe just like, thank you in advance, comrade, kind of thing. I don't know. Instead of like, I appreciate everything you do. And he's like, I'm just doing my job. Don't worry about it. I'll try this. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You two have always supported me, and you've helped me at every turn. I have a feeling I will continue to cause you two to work hard in the future as well. So, thank you in advance. Okay, well that worked.
I have never once thought about what you do as extra work for me. I accept your thanks, though.
Aww.
And please, do what you must. We are comrades now. Don't hold back for our sake.
See, comrades. I knew my comrade sense was tingling.
Yes, he's right. Thank you in advance for this opportunity.
Okay.
Yukimura, I have a favor to ask of you.
Sure, what is it?
I want you to forget that we've come out in front of you like this. Normally, our job is to protect you from the shadows.
That's right. How dumb of me.
Aw. I understand. Let's just say I went straight back. I'll be on my way then.
Alright, thank you.
Go straight home without any worries.
Alright. Thank you, you two. I ran towards the compounds. All the gloom sinking my heart felt as if it'd been blown away. Aw, the two of them are so good. I do wish we'd get more Yamazaki and Shimada interaction, though. I like their friendship. Well, I guess I made it back safely. And now they're wavering. Let's see what happens now. Gonna fade to black, I guess. Things should be escalating pretty quickly. Oh, very quickly. We're at chapter 5 now. What's the picture? I don't see any blood. You guys are holding hands. That's a good sign. Please let that be a good sign. Where did you come from? Achievement unlocked. He's a sneaky boy. He snuck into our heart. December 1867. The restoration of imperial rule had removed the political power from the shogunate back to the jurisdiction of the imperial palace. The Satsuma and Choshu formed a coalition to assume leadership under this new union. Thus, a new government had started to form. The Satsuma Choshu began to gain momentum, going so far as to occupy Kyoto with their troops. Not only had the shogunate been stunted politically, but now their forces, too, had nowhere to turn. Although the shogunate commanded a large number of forces, the imperial court dominated any substantial clout once held by the shogunate. It was clear the shogunate was being cornered into a situation from which they couldn't easily recover. Between those attempting to uphold the values of the past and those fighting to move Japan into the future, no one knew which side would prevail. End of the year, 1867. Several skirmishes had been occurring at various cities, including Edo, between the shogunate and the Satsuma Choshu. In an attempt to gain a stronghold in a crucial area, the Shinsengumi was tasked with guarding the Fushimi magistrate. However, it was as though fate were laughing at our attempt at protecting the magistrate. Kondo had an assassination attempt on his life. Wow, we just skipped that whole scene entirely. After meeting with the Aizu in the city, he was ambushed on his return to the magistrate. Okay, not entirely skipped, but... Kondo's gunshot wound was on his right shoulder. The bullet pierced clean through him, shattering the bone, which required more treatment than I could have given him at the compounds. I was sweeping up the common room when... Okay, so you're handing out the vials. I assume Yamazaki's gonna get a vial from one of you guys? Because he's not here at this particular meeting. Maybe Inoue. It could very well be Inoue. The common room was practically deserted, and the mood was somber as we listened for updates. As I'd left the common room, I walked past the courtyard to head to my room. I found Yamazaki standing alone in contemplation. He gazed longingly into the stars, or into the sky, as if searching for answers amongst the stars. He didn't seem to notice as I'd walked closer to him. This seemed rather out of character for Yamazaki. I softly spoke to him so as to not alert him. "Good evening, Yamazaki. Is everything okay?" As I'd spoken out, Yamazaki finally turned to acknowledge me nearby. He glanced in my direction, and his expression remained stern as he looked into my eyes.
Oh, nothing. Please, excuse me.
With that said, Yamazaki walked off. I wonder if Yamazaki is alright. I was, of course, concerned about him, but tonight there wasn't much room in my heart for concern. I rushed back to my room. Are you okay? Chizuru, what happened to you? All you did was watch the captains take the serum. Okay.
We still haven't figured out who attacked the chief. I'll bet you anything it's those bastards from that Satsuma Choshu alliance.
Ever since the attack on Kondo, the atmosphere at the Fushimi Magistrate's office had been tense to say the least. I felt it increase as I stepped into the meeting room carrying tea for the captains. Here's your tea.
Oh, thanks. Could you just leave it here?
I seemed to have walked in on a serious discussion. All around the room were tense, drawn faces.
So what's your plan? The Satsuma Choshu Alliance wants power in the court, but they're also hoping the Emperor grants them all of the shogunate's assets and holdings. There's no other way to look at it. They're trying to start a war. We'd be smart to start preparing for one.
You have a point. They've been sucking up to the Emperor, and they come and go at the palace like they own the place. Now, so far as preparing for war,
Sanon has been pushing hard to augment the Fury Corps.
A memory of the other day came back to me. Sanon offered the water of life to all of the captains, and they accepted it.
I'm against that. This is war, not subduing the odd Ronin. There are going to be enemies and allies everywhere in battle. I don't think we'll be able to control them. They're powerful, but it's too risky. Agreed. Besides, it's inhumane. Then what do you suggest? If you wish to disapprove, you should offer an alternate path. We're working on that. If it was so easy to come up with a solution, you really think we'd be in this mess? What's your take on this, Commander?
Hijikata furrowed his brow and frowned.
let me think about it. We need to see what the Satsuma and Choshu are going to do, and we have to consider what the shogunate wants.
Kondo's injury had put everyone on edge, especially with the war inching closer day by day. What was going to become of the Shinsengumi, as well as the Fury Corps? Something else I want to check is we're in the last chapter. I forgot to see how we're doing. Full bloom with this boy. Alright. December 20th, 1867. It was decided that Kondo and Okita were to be moved to Osaka, where Dr. Matsumoto was. Kondo had required serious surgery and treatment, while Okita needed to treat his tuberculosis. Only a few people had caught on to Okita's condition initially, but when it came time for him to leave, it was as if a dark cloud hovered over all of us. The departure of these two leaders brought solemnity and sadness to us all. Alright, so they're gone. Tensions were escalating in the Fushimi Magistrate. War could break out at any second. Since the chief had been shot, everyone seemed on edge at every corner. I guess, though, it can't be helped. Despite an intense investigation, no one could pin down a suspect. This only served to frustrate the soldiers further. Since coming to the magistrate, however, it seemed like the only way I could contribute was to make rice balls or yuzuki for the men to eat. Yuzuke? Yuzuke? I think maybe that's how you say it. Yuzuke. But since everyone was constantly occupied or on the move, gathering a group to eat was hard. I found myself with nothing to do after cleaning up the kitchen after dinner.
Yukimura?
Oh, Yamazaki! Are you okay? A sharp voice came from behind me, and there stood Yamazaki in his ninja suit. Oh, you must have been out. Wow, you work pretty late, huh? I had assumed he was performing his scout duties, looking for any sign of a culprit responsible for the attempt on Kondo's life. I bowed to him calmly.
Forget about me. What's concerning me is you.
Huh?
Why are you still in Kyoto? This city will be a war zone soon.
Oh, have you been away for a while and you're like, what the heck are you still doing here? Yamazaki inhaled deeply, and he continued with a reserved expression.
I'd figured you'd go with Chief Kondo and Okita to Osaka. I didn't think I'd need to say anything. I just assumed Commander Hijikata would ensure that you'd be a safe distance away.
There was a hint of stress in his tone, and his exhaustion was coming through.
Maybe the commander is too busy dealing with everything going on to worry about you.
Perhaps that is the case. Since Kondo was shot, Hijikata has been all over the place. I nodded, and he immediately resumed speaking in a serious tone.
It isn't too late for you. You should catch up with Chief Kondo and leave for Osaka. If it is permission that you are waiting on before you leave, I can speak with the commander now.
There's no need. I'll be fine.
Of course it's not fine.
He raised his voice, his frustration gaining.
I understand what you may be feeling. You still haven't found Koto, and you may want to remain in Kyoto. And now you're being targeted by those so-called demons. And of course, I know that the Shinsengumi has pledged to keep you safe.
Yamazaki. I had never seen him in this infuriated state, let alone show this much emotion. He must be very tired.
But Kyoto will soon become a war zone. It is far too dangerous to remain here.
Just from the way he'd been flailing his limbs and gesticulating, I could sense he was upset. You think? Well spotted, girl. So it's true. We're going to war. I'd known it was coming, but now, war was finally at our doorstep. I muttered this to myself, and Yamazaki grabbed a hold of my shoulders as he responded. Why don't you understand?
I am almost certain. Some warriors may be keeping their hopes up, but... Well, for example, the Satsuma camp has been reported as already setting their cannons for a strike against the Fushimi magistrate.
Well, what?
The Satsuma are running on high morale, whilst the shogunate are relying on their numbers alone, so there's no telling how this battle may play out.
The possible outcomes Yamazaki was describing were both pointing to one thing: devastation. I was sure that Yamazaki still held some hope that the shogunate was superior to the Satsuma or the Choshu. However, because he'd witnessed their preparations firsthand as a scout, his perspective was better than anyone's.
In addition, the Satsuma are armed with some of the most advanced weaponry I have ever seen. I am unsure how our forces will deal with them.
Although I'm sure Yamazaki made an effort to comfort me, he was very obviously shaken.
However, in the end, we will be victorious. We have far more numbers. But even so, it is better to be safe than sorry. So, it's best that you prepare to head for Osaka.
Wait! Yamazaki was rushing through his attempt to convince me, but I interrupted him. I'm not the only one in danger here. Any one of us could be at any time. Besides, you of all people should be careful considering you keep going into the enemy lines. That's almost asking for danger to happen.
Don't worry about me. But you have no need to be sucked into a battle.
Yamazaki smiled wryly before sighing deeply.
Oh. Look, My job is to identify and nullify potential dangers that threaten the Shinsengumi. In the end, if I were to lose my life in the effort to keep my allies safe, I'd consider it job done.
What?
Please, don't give me that look. Since accepting my position as a member of the Watch, this is a commitment I've made with my own life.
There was so much to say, but I couldn't collect my thoughts quick enough. Then... I became desperate to tell him something, but the words frothed as they struggled to come out of my mouth before... Then why don't you go to Osaka, Yamazaki? What?
Calm yourself, Yukimura. Why would I leave for Osaka?
You're the Shinsengumi's doctor, so you know everyone's condition better than anyone. His eyes grew wide in surprise as I continued. The men going to Osaka need your help too, Yamazaki. I want you to be beside Kondo and Okita more than anything, too. I wanted him to know that he was worth more to us than just being a lookout in the city. I knew my voice was teetering on the edge of being irrational, but I had to tell him because I didn't want him to stay in a dangerous place. Immediately, Yamazaki began to calm down, and he responded in a peaceful tone.
Dr. Matsumoto is waiting in Osaka. If they are going to be treated by anyone, he is the best fit. If your concern is about the chief or Okita, then I think it is even more reason for you to go.
Well...
You've been a massive help to me for a while, and I'm sure they could use your support. Besides, I'm a soldier, and you aren't. Isn't it obvious who should stay?
His words tore through me. I dug my fingers into my hand as I gripped a tight fist, and I stared back into his eyes. I'm aware of what dangers await me. But even then, I still want to stay here. Because... I don't know. I'm gonna save. Duty over... I feel like the top one is duty, and the second one is about comradeship. Like, I don't want to leave my comrades behind kind of thing. Whereas the top one's like, I could be useful here. Both could work. I think comradeship is going to be the way more so than the duty. So I think I'll go with this and see if it works out. Being separated from the Shinsengumi is a lot scarier than being dragged into a war. All I think about is if everyone was okay, if they were safe, or worse. If war breaks out, then I'm sure you guys will be in need of any help you can get. Although I may not look like much, I too can treat the wounded. Yamazaki fell silent, and I continued. Besides, if you're going off to fight, Yamazaki, then even more reason for me to stay. I made a vow with you in the past that I'd watch over everyone when you're away. He's like, dang it. Yamazaki dropped his shoulders as he sighed, responding like he'd given up fighting.
Oh.
It worked, though.
I know where you're coming from, Yukimura. I can't stand it when my comrades are hurt either. That's why I chose to distract myself with tasks that took me away from everyone.
Yamazaki. His smirk gleamed in my eyes, and my heart squeezed. How can you tell he's smirking?
I guess I'm putting you in the same position. But please, take care of everyone while I'm gone.
I guess that's her. Okay. I smiled in response, and he shared with me a small grin as well. I don't know how you're telling all this. Suddenly, Yamazaki closed the distance between us, holding me close. Wow! When he makes a move, he makes a move. Okay, now I can see that you're smiling. So bold. My goodness. Did you put that down so you could kiss her? Because I'm okay with that. He unraveled the cloth around his mouth, and his eyes wrapped me with warmth by looking at me.
You are strong.
Huh? What? Yamazaki took my hand and muttered quietly.
There aren't many who care about the Shinsengumi as deeply as you do. Only those who have seen death, and know what it means to lose someone, can understand the fear of losing someone they cannot live without.
My dear? Wait! Time out! Susumu, you can't just put on the charm, like, right at the end, like, 1000% charm! My dear? Stop my heart. Oh my goodness, I need to be resuscitated. Water time. That'll resuscitate me. Alright, well, unexpected, but I'm loving it.
And yet, my dear, I sense those very feelings because of you. Something I'd never realized.
Those feelings? Oh my. Yamazaki made perfect sense. I could only wonder, though, if I deserve to be worried about. I mean, is it okay for you to give me the honor of what you suggest?
Don't be so modest. To me, I believe it is what is right.
Yamazaki's words filled my chest with warmth, like fresh tea being poured gently into the cup.
I can trust you to take care of my wounded comrades. However, to me, you are as precious of a comrade as I've ever had.
What is this romance novel stuff that's happening right now? Okay.
So, please, don't push yourself too hard. Keep yourself safe.
How could he say that to me? He's the one who's in danger the most! The thought didn't settle easily in my mind. But still, the fact he trusted me so heavily gave me an intense feeling of pride. Okay. Understood. I nodded. Yamazaki nodded back in response, and he slowly loosened his grip on my hand. What the hell that was happening there? I'm shocked you didn't kiss her!
I'm going to report to Commander Hijikata on what occurred in my last round. So, if your name comes up, I will be sure not to say anything about where you are to be headed.
Thank you so much, Yamazaki.
I should be the one thanking you. After speaking with you, I feel so much better. You give me peace of mind. So, thank you.
He smiled timidly to me as he expressed his gratitude. If I had given Yamazaki peace, then what he'd given me was meaning. What he gave me was a bloody heart attack. He inspired me to believe that there was something I could do for the Shinsengumi, that I could be helpful to them, and it made me realize there's no way I can let him down. Upon discovering that he accepted me for who I was, it made me confident, an unfamiliar feeling. No matter how uncertain the future could be for me, I was no longer scared to see what's next.